moment you visit the kingdom of university, your life will be 100% changed. So, I would like to recognize the presence of my two aunties, and the reason why they are here, they stay around here, so that you know where I came from. They are with you here. Auntie Helen, just stand up and wave. Auntie Monica, stand up and wave. The two ladies are sisters to my mother, and they are married here at Homa Bay County. I came with them so that if I tell you my story, you become part of that story. As you engulf it, as you digest it, it becomes part of you. Recognizing the presence of my brother, Geoffrey Ajiki, just wave. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen, and boys, good afternoon once again. I'm Honorable Dr. Babu Owino. I was born and bred in Kisumu, stayed at Nyalenda slums, trying to make ends meet at Nyalenda slums, went to Central Primary School in Kisumu, and in Central Primary School, God blessed me to be a leader. So from class 3 to class 7, I was a prefect. Then in class 7, I was an assistant head boy. Then class 8, I was a head boy. But life was not a bed of roses. Life was not about marrying around. Life was full of challenges. My mother took the responsibility of raising us up. We are 3 in our family, my sister, brother, and I am the last born. Mom resolved to the fate of selling chang'aa in Nyalenda slums. You know what chang'aa is? Please don't use it, don't misuse it, and don't abuse it. So don't attempt it. It is not good for you. But that is the only way we could make ends meet. After Dad passed on when we were in class 3. So Mom had to struggle, and during those days, it was the Nyayo era where chang'aa was banned. It was an illicit brew. Policemen could come to our house, get people drinking chang'aa, beat people in the house. So as a child, I grew up with trauma that some of you may be having, frustrations, bitterness, grief, and all the poisons of life. Mom had an opportunity of only getting for us school fees, for our siblings and myself, food to eat, clothes to put on, money for fees. But that wasn't enough, because she could not also perform the role of a man in the house, which she was really trying to do so much. Having struggled that much, seeing my mom being beaten, crying together in the house with our kids, my mom also crying, developed high blood pressure, used to be very sickling a lot. In the midnight, past midnight, we used to carry mom to the hospital, calling Ngwari. Then there was no motorbike, the boda. There was a boda called Ngwari, which was a bicycle that was being used to take mom to the hospital. That is at Russia, famously known as Russia. And growing in that lifestyle, we were left to grow, where at some point, only mom would be asking in the evening if the kids are back at home. So we used to live like chicken. Not eating chicken, but eating like chicken and eating with chicken. What chicken eat? Because chicken was a very prestigious meal. But she did it. When I finished my KCPE examinations, I didn't go to Central Primary School to get my results. I was always in position 3 in primary school. God blessed me with brains, which I believe that God has blessed you with, and I know that you will utilize it well. Because if you leave it to rust, it will multiply you by 0 and raise you to power 0 and get 0. But if well utilized, you will multiply it by infinity and raise it to power infinity and become infinity. When the results came out, Mom went to Central Primary School because she told me to go and get my results, not for fear of failing, but I knew there was no school fees. I knew there was no life after primary school. So what did we do? She went to get the results. Fortunately, I was called at Kisumu Boys High School later on, received a calling letter, but I told Mom that I can't go to high school because I used to see Mom struggling a lot. So Mom called all of us, my sister, my brother, and myself. Then we decided who was to be educated in that family. So the rest of my family members dropped their education in support of myself. And that is why I decided to do several degrees, one for my mother, one for my sister, one for my brother, another one for myself, and I'm also doing for my relatives. Because I said that I would never fail. I didn't want to fail because it is expensive to fail. So when I refused to go to high school, Mom called the area chief, called Chief Kabisai, he's still the chief up to now, to talk to me. Because this brilliant young boy has just passed, but he doesn't want to go to high school. So the chief advised me, and I asked the chief one simple question. Do you have the school fees for me to go to high school? Because selling chang'aa, to sell 500 milliliters, hiyo chupa ya maji, one tot of chang'aa was 10 shillings then. To sell it, you get a total of 500 Kenya shillings. To accumulate the 500 Kenya shillings to the school fee, which was around 15,000 Kenya shillings, was next to impossible. Then I told the chief, if you can get school fees for me, then I will join high school. The chief said, just go to school. I remember clearly his words. And I called him to parliament when I was elected to see where he took me. Because I'd given up in life. So the chief said, just go to school. Don't worry about fee. Leave it to us. Fee will just come. Then after that, we called for a fundraiser. The guest of honor, like the way I've been called here as a chief guest, was very much willing to support us. His donation was 200 Kenya shillings, the highest amount ever that we collected. But so many people came there because they really loved education and wanted me to go to school. Because a child belongs to the community. We were helped. I was helped. That's why I'm here to also help you. Were it not for the community, I would not be here. Then, the total amount of money that we raised was 900 Kenya shillings. And you know you can't call for another fundraiser almost immediately because now people will think that, watu wanataka kuomoka na sisi. So after that, I joined Kisumu Boys High School. I'm one of the few students who had nothing, didn't even carry a Bible to go to school with. I just went. I remember I bought my blazer at the stage. They were selling those second-hand blazers. I bought it at 150 shillings, but I was proud of it because I was the most unique student with it in school. But also the principal of Kisumu Boys High School really did a lot, contributing to my education, because he never used to send me away. He understood me. Did my Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, and on the last day, when we were doing KCSE biology practicals, that is when now things were tough again. Policemen came in our house, found me selling chang'aa, then arrested me. By then, the policemen didn't want to hear anything to do with education. If you tell them that you are in school, you would become their public enemy number one. So I was arrested, taken to Central Primary School. By then, Mom was very sick in the hospital, admitted. Taken to Central Police Station. Then in the morning, I started screaming and hitting the door of the police cell. Then an officer came who was the OCS of Central Police Station, an officer called Mr. Wanyama. Right now he has retired, but a great friend of mine. Actually, he asked me, young man, why are you disturbing us here? And I told him, I have KCSE examinations, biology practicals. So I have to go and do it, otherwise everything will be shattered. I remember him putting me in a Land Cruiser. From Central Police Station to Kisumu Boys is just 3 minutes drive. Went to Kisumu Boys because I couldn't go back home to change. By the time I would be back, exams would be over. Then what did I do? Went, did my exams. To cut the long story short, then we were still selling chang'aa. Passed my examinations, KCSE. Called at the University of Nairobi. At the same time, I got a scholarship to do A-levels at Millennium Academy doing the Cambridge system because of how I performed. Scored 72 points out of 84, which was a big try for me. The first time I remember Honorable Gladys buying a newspaper to check for my name in the whole nation. I looked for my number from number 1 to number 100, I missed. Then I started looking from 100 to 1, I missed. Then I opened another page, checking Nyanza province then. Checked my name. From number 1 to number 100, I missed. Then 100 to 1, and I missed. Then I remember it was drizzling. I was with a friend of mine called Tom Boyer. He was at Agoro Sare. He scored an A-plane. At some point when we closed school, I'm the one who was teaching Tom mathematics and chemistry. It was disappointing. Another lady at Kisumu Boys called Sheila Okumu, now a doctor. I was teaching her accounting and physics and maths. Got 84 A's, 84 points. Then I saw tears just roll down my cheeks. Then I said, I'm done again. So before I was called at the University of Nairobi, I was called at Egerton University to do computer science, at Egerton University. Then I had a neighbor who used to drink in our house and said, if you go to Egerton University, you will come back here and you start treating chicken. May his soul rest in peace. He was called Jamkono because he was a very wise man. And Jamkono always believed in me. He said that if his own kids cannot make it, he will always support me by giving me moral support. So I used to read. When I was in school, I used to sell chang'aa up to around 2 a.m. because you can't send away clients. So Jamkono just used, after finishing selling, by 2 a.m., started reading books. Jamkono sits with me up to 5 a.m. I drank lots of coffee, and I don't like coffee up to date. I put my legs in cold water. But Jamkono always believed in me, and he told me one thing. Babu, one thing you must never do. Do not engage in relationships now. Do not have girls now. Do not have a